Welcome to the Grown Ass Man Show.
We fucking up the whole program. We fucking up the whole program.
I'm not saying don't give money to the schools. That's the last thing I'm saying. But my thing is, if you want to throw money at them, let's change the curriculum. Let's change the model first, and then throw all the money in the world at it. I don't want to throw money at an archaic 150-year-old school system.
What's up, everybody? We're back.
Well, that was all on tape.
Welcome to the Grown Ass Man Show. We're discussing something that's near and dear to everybody's heart. Every election season, we hear, well, what about your children? Don't you care about your children?
That's basically right now, issue 2 right now. I cannot believe this reefer madness shit going on now. Every other subject in the argument against issue 2 out here in Vegas
It's for the children.
This would be dispensaries in the neighborhoods where your children live. And there's going to be gummy bears that your kids will want to eat. And it's just kids, it's unbelievable. How about you just fucking tell your kids?
You can't have that. You don't know nothing about that shit.
I buy them actual real fucking candy because it's cheaper. They're not getting into my fucking stash if that were something that I would do, allegedly. But I mean, it's so fucking dumb. It's kind of like, oh, watch out, Halloween's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Watch out, people put drugs in the candy. Oh shit! They don't give that out to kids for
Who's
free.
giving out free drugs and Halloween?
Oh shit! That shit is expensive and hard to find. You're not giving it out to your stupid
Unless
kids.
they have a white van parked in their driveway. They're not giving your kids
It's the
rupees.
fear. They throw your
Oh
kids at
man,
you.
dude.
Oh man, did you know that your kids could go in the bathroom and a man could come in there and maybe do something to your kid in the bathroom? First of all, do you have...
Get off your phone and watch your kid then.
Do you have men's and women's bathroom in your own homes? I didn't think so. Do you know where most molestation, 99% of child molestation happens at? In people's own homes.
Oh, home. Got
In
it.
people's own homes. It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
And you go, I'll tell you something. And again, right now, I've been using women's bathroom for years. So I'll tell you right now, I walk in the gas station and I gotta fucking take a shit and that men's room's locked and that one's open. Guess what's happening, bro? Oh, it's happening real quick. You'll try it.
But
it's the same bullshit scare tactics.
Yeah,
It's all scare tactics.
I would never.
Things that don't exist.
I always said I would never vote out of fear or tradition, because I might sit at home this election, but I really hate when people go. They use the kids as a scapegoat. Like we're raising money, and the rest can go to education. That money never goes to education. They never see a fucking thin dime of it.
And that brings up a point with this issue 2. Because they're earmarking 50% of all the revenue to go to your schools. But this is the problem: when you can't really earmark money in government to go to anything. It's kind of like when you piss in the deep end of the pool and hope it doesn't run into the shallow end.
Yeah.
It all goes to
Into
the
a
same
general
place,
thing,
into a
yeah.
general fund. So it's really hard to earmark it. Just kind of like it's probably going with Social Security. They just take money from this and they put it there. So I'm gonna go lie. I am worried about where the 50. I'm less worried about where the 50% is going to go from revenue we end up getting from the recreational marijuana law, or I just want to raise the 100% of it and hopefully it gets in the right places eventually.
Right. Because look, Nick and I were talking. The three of us we had, because in between takes a lot of times we get into poignant discussions between one another. And they're all based off of opinion, and a lot of it we don't necessarily have the right answer. And we've got friends on here that are educators and everything. And Nick brought up a great point. He was like, "Well, do you just throw money at the problem and it's just going to get better?" And I was kind of the mind that maybe, because I thought if you build more schools or you're going to have more teachers, you lower the class size, it makes it easier. And then we kind of got into the dynamics of it. But really what it comes down to, we haven't really been in school doing schoolwork and shit like that 15, 20 years. So, I mean, I don't know how different it is. And I looked at it because I didn't realize it until I saw it. There's schools, there's a school down the street from my house, Foothills High School, that has almost 3,000 students. I mean, that would be far and away the largest high school in most states, and there's not a ton of people that live in Nevada. They just all live in Clark County, and that's a lot of burden to put on one school to have that. So I think that you need to have more schools. But he's saying, what are you just going to pay the teachers more? Is that going to make them more motivated? And I don't know the answer to that. You know,
I just think we have an antiquated school program or school model in this country. We are living in the age where I can learn anything I want to learn through my iPhone that's in my pocket. If I want to learn how to edit this video, boom. If I want to learn the capital of any country, it's amazing what I can learn with a click of a mouse and Google through my phone. And yet we were asking kids, we were demanding that kids spend 7 to 8 hours sitting in the classroom, like Josh saying, not getting very well educated. So do we double that up? Do we double down on that school model with more money and more schools, or do we rethink the whole model at all?
I think we should rethink the whole model because a lot of it is administrative costs. You know, the superintendent makes $400,000 a year. They make as much as the president of the freaking United States.
Yeah, and we got to pay these janitors. Everybody loves the janitor.
Janitors got keys to everybody's car.
To sweep up and to dust this stuff. And at the same time, man, I just said, schools have become very dangerous places for kids to be at. Besides mass shootings, at many schools, the bullying, drugs. Come on, man. I went to high school. I know exactly. You want to talk about being molested or whatever? I mean, different sexual advances.
There's a lot of teacher banging going on.
It's anytime you put a bunch of kids in a public thing, you actually expose them to probably some of the most dangerous things. I'm not saying kids should be in a cocoon, but I don't see what's wrong if I have 3 or 4 kids or 2 kids. They can't wake up and spend 3 or 4 hours on the computer, supervised by the parents, and learn just as much as they learn 8 hours at the school. Basically, spend most of the time trying to be on time, trying not to get beat up by a bully, or trying to be the coolest kid with his peg pants or his collared shirt. I'm really dating myself there.
Some of it is socialization, social
Yeah,
integration.
which obviously is something
getting
that
along with
happen.
people, because when you get into a large scale group of things, you're going to have to get along with people, that. But ultimately, these skills are what would be utilized to make you a good employee, really, honestly. And that's what it's more geared toward. Get up at this time, in and out at this time. Do this amount of work. You basically, repetition and memorization are rewarded, and anything outside of that box is
I'll tell you something. 20 years ago when I went to school, and I'm not saying that kids weren't fat back then, but we also had the Presidential War. We went to gym class twice a day. We were all in shape. And, and I think it was Reagan. It was before that. I think it was Nixon started that. John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy had everybody doing the jumping jacks and really got.
That was under Reagan.
That was under Bush.
Oh, when Schwarzenegger came out?
Yeah.
The whole thing? Yeah, okay. Maybe it was.
That was another one. Anyway, my point is this. Those are good things. Those are good traits to put into kids. So being on time, that is a good trait. That is a good character trait. Being in shape is a good character trait. Getting along with people. But I'll just tell you right now, I see more fat people than I do right now. And I'll tell you what, most of my friends are fucking late every time I fucking see them. So I don't know what good is, what kind of things are teaching or not.
Mr. Example Maker, let me tell you. Now look at it. All those positions that are people run for the school board, and they, if we change the school districts up and we change the way the school system is set up.
We gerrymander the school districts, dude.
Yeah, I know it. I'm just saying. But look, you guys, people run for school board and they appoint the superintendent. There's a lot of businesses tied into every school system. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to unwire a lot of shit.
No, you're right, dude. That's the thing.
You think about how bad it is. You think about how bad it is with all those businesses tied in to your regular school system. Think of how bad it is at business schools.
Yeah,
dude,
it's double bad.
It's just as bad as the military industrial complex, the
prison complex,
educational industrial complex. Dude, it's all corrupt and it's all fucked up.
Yep.
And that's why, Josh, like I said, obviously I'm not against giving kids money to the kids for school. I mean, no one's against education. No
sounds like something that somebody who's against education would say.
Nobody's against education.
But
I just like to think that.
Would you? I would vote for the first candidate who goes, look, I don't give a fuck about kids. I don't give a fuck about families. I want more money in your pocket. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this.
No,
because
there's nothing wrong with that, because then you can choose to use your own money for your kids and for your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or for drugs and alcohol. It's up to you.
Weed and hookers, whatever.
Yeah, you know what? Because, prostitutes, they need it too,
They got kids in school.
Yeah, they got kids.
They got paid for
I hear them talking about that shit. Like, oh, school's starting up. I got to make this money. Like, oh, shit. That's some real world economy shit. Like, oh, man. You need some fucking... I need a fucking binder for my kid, better go start sucking some dick, you know, like, that's the real fucking decisions you got to make.
But and it's so much stuff that's tied to everything. It's so, in this corrupt system that we live in, everything is so intertwined, and people want to duck their heads and don't want to face the realism of the fact that, you know what, all this stuff is just a paper bridge, just like it's put together, but it's not put together very well.
Yeah, no, it is.
And once we start seeing through it,
and people, I want you guys, yeah, dude, and this hasn't been together that long. It didn't used to be this way 80 years ago. This new
80 years ago he wouldn't be allowed to hang out with us. Yeah. So I think we're kind of moving forward, but yeah.
You know, this started in the 40s, the 50s. I guess as we see, I forget that it's 2016. I still think it's 90s, but this system, this economy, this whole thing has been based off the few rich elite that have created this situation, and the ones that have been benefiting the most.
And they don't want to change things.
They don't want to change things.
No.
Nobody wants it to change.
You think either one of these candidates is really going to change your life? They don't want that.
No, dude. Hillary is going to keep it the same, and that's
They're
why a
both
lot of
gonna
people.
bomb
That's why a lot of
everybody.
people are happy
Yeah.
about Hillary because they just want things to stay the same. That's why the bankers, the businessmen, all come out against Trump because they don't want change. Of course not. You know, but Trump. I said this last night on Facebook. I think a lot of you guys may have saw it. I don't hate either candidate. I don't believe in hate.
I do.
I don't believe in hate.
I'm pro hate.
I don't believe in hate. I don't think either one of them. I don't think either one of them are going to be very good presidents. I just think one would be worse than the other, and so that's why I'm not going to support Hillary Clinton. But that's just where I'm leaning toward hoping it happens. Trump will take us back 30 years. That's just all there is to it.
And that's not a good thing.
And if that's where you want to be, vote for him. Fuck it. You know, I'm sorry that your life isn't what you think it should be because of some thing that you think it was, that you think that you think some minority is stealing something from you, or you think some job is given to somebody else for whatever reason that you think. And that's kind of what the Trump supporters, I believe, are holding on to. Like they were promised this American dream, that being white and going to high school and graduating would guarantee you some thing that just doesn't exist anymore because it's been stolen from you by businessmen exactly like Donald Trump over the last 30 to 40 years. But you know what? Keep being mad at it. Vote for him. It's fine because guess what? You ain't going to have no money. He'll be president for the next 20 years. You ain't going to have no money in your pocket. You're still being miserable son of a bitch. You're still going to be living fucking wherever.
if people keep talking about how great Ronald Reagan was,
Give me a fucking break.
Do you know they sold more trailers during the Reagan administration?
I believe it.
Just at the same time,
People forgot how broke they were.
Just at the same time for them to sell tornado insurance on them. Guys.
My house is on wheels and my car's on blocks. Come on, honey, just suck my. Never mind.
You know, and I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and say Bernie Sanders was the end-all be-all and the second coming of Jesus. But it's wild to me when someone
because he actually exists.
When someone comes to you, well, I'm talking to my white ring Christian friends who think that Jesus existed. Well, he did actually exist.
He is a white guy in the Middle East. You're right on.
No, Jesus.
We're friends named Paul and
Dave and Jim. Yeah.
Anyways, when a guy comes along and he actually tries to, and he's telling you, he actually gives a fuck about people and tries to help you, and he gets ridiculed, just like Jesus did.
Yeah, it's like
the story. He gets crucified. I mean, I can't think.
Let's end the wars and fucking stop, basically putting people in huge debt.
And you're like, fuck him!
Fuck him, right?
He's a socialist communist. The first form of communism was, Jesus' his disciples. We all work together for a common goal. We all work to get things. Our friend over here likes to brag about being an atheist. That's another thing I don't get. Why do people brag about not believing in things? I don't brag about how much I didn't drink. You don't brag about how much I don't believe in God.
You know what?
You don't believe how I brag about how I didn't fuck chicks last night. You just don't brag about things.
Yeah,
just let it go.
but you know what?
I don't know. It's just
for so long, people have preached. Oh, you know what? I came to a realization one day. It's like a slap in the face. I'm like, whatever a religious book or any type of religious literature's been, there's been a fucking class system. You're like, don't do this, don't do this. I'm like, so I was like, pretty much, if there's a God, he don't like black people, so he can kiss my ass. Fuck him. I don't leave.
Well, that you not fucking chicks last night doesn't impose itself on my legislation. As long as that fucking doesn't happen, I don't give a fuck.
My part was just like not bragging about things that I don't do. Don't brag about things I don't do. I don't brag about things I don't believe in. I don't brag about things I don't do. That was my point.
Yeah, because it doesn't hurt me and it doesn't affect me.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying
Those things you're talking about, they don't hurt me and they don't affect me and they don't oppress people for fucking a millennia. So those are completely
You can
different.
talk shit about religion, but don't brag about how much of an atheist you are.
I did.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah, and I did.
You know, you can point at Christianity, point at Judaism, point at Buddhism. You can point at
They're all a sense of
You
fucking
point
mental
at-
illness and delusion. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
They all
Yeah.
use as
Religion-
social constructs to help control people. People used to be savages. If you guys are, people are still savages. People were real
The world
savages.
has always been off.
500
It's not
fucking years
nothing's
ago.
different.
It's never been a yeah.
It's never been a fucking great place.
Religion is a bunch of little men in funny hats telling cool stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and profess my point is this: our religion. It is used as, and you guys agree, as a social construct to help people behave correctly. Because if you fucking didn't have that, can you imagine if we fucking didn't have? Can you imagine these right-wing motherfuckers didn't pretend to believe in God, and the way they would act? And these are motherfuckers that believe in God, and they fucking
They would be
act
a little
the way
more
they act.
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe.
Did you
They
fucking
would,
imagine?
they would be the ones
They'd
hiding.
be like, you know what? Fuck it. We can't just fucking chop up these brown people because God, we'll just pretend that we want to.
Yeah, but
we'll
see,
pretend that we don't want to. We'll just do it.
If we didn't have religious constructs, we wouldn't have police. So we'd be like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. You want to be a little dickhead? We're gonna
You
cut you
still
up.
have the right and
Feed
wrong.
you to the
You don't
cats.
have to be. You don't have to be religious to have the
I think we're
moral
going on like 18
responsibility.
minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But hey,
Anyways, what's the answer to schools?
Back in the day, yeah. So my thing is this: I'm not procreating. All you fucking procreators, man, you're on your fucking own with fucking money in the schools. It's not my problem. I'll be dead. before I
teachers should
fucking worry
probably be
about it.
paid more and
In
have
fact,
less responsibility.
I think you procreators would be
And
more
quit
worried
funding your
about
students.
would be more worried about the environment and more worried about because your kids are going to have to pay $8 for a bottle of water 30 years from now, and they're going to be able to breathe the fucking air they're breathing. And you know, and my parents took that for granted. They started fucking that up for me before these kids are even fucking born. You know, they talk about the debt you're taking on, the social, the economical, the college, what's it called?
Economic impact.
Environmental shit. That
Ecological impact,
impact
okay.
of these kids is they're fucked forever. And so yeah. Again,
Awesome.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what?
I
Just
don't
give me
put
food.
money at it, though,
Just
'cause
give me
I-
some food
money's
for
fake
thought.
anyways.
Give me some food for thought. Check us out. But it's been a grown ass man show. Thank
Peace.
Thank you.
I mean, fuck, my property tax is $1,000 a month, $1,000 a year. Fuck it, raise it $50.
No, that's exactly how I feel.
I'll throw it
Hey, what
$50.
happened to the side?